Okay, so shall I
Yeah, yeah.
start? Good morning, everyone. Here's my hearty welcome to all my respected faculties and my dear friends. It gives me an immense pleasure to greet all of your presence and your interest towards this webinar. So, to give you all a great and fruitful learning experience, the coordinators of MBA Puducherry Technological University, allied with Institution Innovation Council, has organized a virtual workshop on business model canvas. I welcome our eminent faculties, Dr. R. Sundramurthy, Executive Director, AIC PECF, Puducherry Technological University, Dr. N. Sivakumar, Program Coordinator of MBA, Puducherry Technological University, Dr. B. Hemakumar, Innovation Ambassador and IIC Convener, Puducherry Technological University, and a special welcome to Dr. Jayakumar Sitanandam, Dr. Sundramurthy Reddy, and Mr. Ramesh, the faculty members of MBA department. Now, I would like to invite Dr. B. Hemakumar to deliver the presidential address.
A very good morning to one and all present over here. I'm indeed very happy to be on this occasion. So we have a very interesting topic today for our discussion. So business model canvas. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, whenever we need to bring out your ideas, okay. So from your head into a tangible format. For that, the business model canvas is the most important part. It plays a very important part. Okay, but even though it is a straightforward concept, but the term has shifted and changed over time. Okay, basically, today, if a company is incapable of creating a innovative and flexible business model, then it could be its downfall. You might have heard of Microsoft. Okay, everyone knows a Microsoft Windows. Days before, the business model of Microsoft Windows was to sell product Microsoft Office, Word, and PowerPoint. Okay, you need to install that software and you need to use it. Now, if you see, their business model has been changed. Their business model is like they're making all the products available on the cloud. Okay, so the complete Office is available on the cloud. So whenever organization is able to switch their business model according to the requirements of the society, then that is the most effective thing. And you might have observed uh, our small shop vendors near our houses. Okay, they do this business model innovation on a daily basis. Okay, morning they will be selling some tea, evening they'll be selling some bhaji samosa in a completely different place with a completely different vendors, different customer base. Okay, so that kind of business, so business model is very much inherent in our part of life. Okay, so business model innovation is a very very excellent topic. So today we are going to so I thank the organizing committee coordinators for taking up this beautiful topic on business model canvas. And you have found the most apt person for this particular topic is none other than our CEO of Atal Incubation Center, okay, Mr. Vishnu Vardhan. He has so much experience. He has seen different clients, and definitely, I wish all the participants a happy learning, and it will be definitely useful for all of you. So I take this opportunity to congratulate the coordinators for taking up this initiative, and I welcome all the eminent faculty members and dear students for this workshop. Okay, so once again, thank you all and wish you a very happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Here comes Sri Kaviraja Sudan, event coordinator of MBA, to take over the session to address a warm welcome to our speaker, Mr. V. Vishnuvardhan.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning, all. It's a privilege for me to have Mr. V. Vishnuvardhan, our CEO, Tech Foundation, as our event speaker, who is a startup enthusiast specializing in human-centric entrepreneurship and startup growth. And he also completed his Master of Business Administration in International Business from Pondicherry University and holds Bachelor of Technology degree in Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering from Pondicherry Engineering College. And he's also successfully completed LB Tech One Technology Entrepreneurship Lab to Market from HardwareX, an online learning initiative of Hardware University. His area of expertise include incubation programming, design and management, entrepreneurship training, business model Canva, IPR, new product development, and human resource consulting support. With over 7+ years of corporate experience, he is currently leading the innovation center for creating an intuitive startup ecosystem in Pondicherry in terms of creating a sustainable and collaborative incubation and acceleration program. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer of Atal Incubation Center, Pondicherry Engineering College Foundation, a technology business incubation center supported by Atal Innovation Mission, NITI Aayog, Government of India. He is also currently a trainer in Pondicherry Technological University, delivering activity-based learning session in new product development, project management, and business model canvas for PG students. For PG students pursuing MBA in innovation, entrepreneurship, and venture development, which is a unique program offered only by 15 institutes across India under AICTE. Now, I would like to hand over the session to our speaker, Mr. V. Vishnuvardhan. Sir, kindly take over the session.
Yeah, thank you, Kavi, for the introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to thank Dr. B. Hemukumar sir for his kind words, and also the entire MBA IEV team and this program coordinators for organizing this session on business model canvas. So as sir told, like, most of the time early stage entrepreneurs like whom we are and whom we are interacting with on a day-to-day basis, they used to be sticky towards a product innovation, right? So we think like innovation is a part which happens only in the hardware side or in the software side or in the products or services side. And most of the times startup founders do, miss the point. Like it's also, there is another part which could also be a real impressive and innovative side of their business or their service, which is going to be your business model. And it gives me immense pleasure to deliver this session. And let's go into the presentation right away. I just don't want to take much time. Just share my slides. So is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. So we'll just get into the session now. So business model canvas, as we know, like what is a canvas? Like something which an artist uses, where he can paint whatever he thinks of. What is the creativity that is having in his mind? It just get delivered into this canvas. So that is the basic term, like we also term this. That is where the concepts also comes into picture, the business model canvas. So starting into the presentation, so we would have an interactive session. Probably, we expect this to be a two-way communication, and wherever I throw open the forum for participants, you can share their thoughts in your chat window. If I'm not able to access, maybe Kavi can help me out in what the terms or definitions that has been shared there, and we will go on from there on, so that the session will be fruitful, and also you guys can get to know more about what is the different elements that is there in a business model, and what is the basic things that we need to know about. So let's go into the session. So this is what we are going to see today. The first thing, as I told, most of us are always sticky towards the product. So what is there beyond the product horizon, and what is the basic difference between business model and business plan, right? So over the years we have been hearing a lot about business plan, and now over the past maybe a decade, we are now talking about innovative business models. So what is the basic difference between that? So that is much necessary for us to know before going into the detailed aspects of a business model canvas. And then we will, throw insights about what is a BMC, and who was, who invented that model, and how it's been functional right now, and what are the basic building blocks of a BMC. And then we'll get into the, cases, like an, live example where we will be discussing on Uber's business model canvas. I've taken Uber's because that is quite simple to, interpret and also to understand a lot. And then there is another concept which has been evolved over the past 5-6 years, specifically with respect to startup ventures, right? fledgling startups, like who are in the idea stage, not very clear about what their product is going to be. Rather, they know what is that they need to solve, what is the problem that they're going to solve. Okay, so those people, there is one another, kind of an, another side of the coin from the BMC, which we call it as lean canvas. I won't talk about that in detail in this session. I'll just throw you some insights so that we complete the entire spectrum of a business model canvas. And at the end of the session, I would also like to show you a small video about what the incubation center is doing. And finally, we'll just closing up the session. So this is what we are going to travel with, and this is what the agenda we are going to do. So right away, moving into the session. So let's start with an interactive, mode. So maybe we are having more than 100, 150 participants right now, most of them faculties and students. So what comes into your mind, Rico? So when you think about innovation and some kind of innovative things, what comes into your mind right away? So now if I ask you a question, what kind of innovations are coming into your mind? You can just type that in the chat window. Maybe someone from the event coordination team can help me out because I'm not able to access the chat window here. You can just type in the chat few innovative stuffs, kind of cool innovative stuffs that's coming into your mind right away. When I coin the term innovation, what is innovation or what is innovative stuffs? So whatever things are coming into your mind, you can chat it. Yeah, Kavi or someone else, if there is something, you just let me know. I'll just list it out here. Maybe it'll take a couple of minutes for this. If not, I'll just go ahead. Any response?
I got some response. Yash Parigar has given new, fresh. Bhairavi has given electrical vehicles.
Okay.
Then Sabrish has told about creativity. Vijay Santi has told about ideas. Myself, I have told about Ola electric bikes. Abhishek has told 3D printing. Then Lakshmi Priya has told about value addition, making life easier. Then Jyoti Lakshmi, ideas. Kesavaraman, Wits, Bubble, no code web creating platform. Gokulnath has told about Google Cycle. Again, Abhishek B is electronic security gadgets. And we have Air Car. Shukila is mentioning smartwatch. Michael is mentioning unique product or a service. Okay.
Okay. So we have got somewhere around 10. So I'm just taking the terms from what Sir has told. So basically, like, when we deep dive in this, 11 things, there might be a lot coming into your mind. So these have some commonality, right? So one is something which, kind of covers the high-end technologies or deep tech technologies that is existing in the ecosystem right now, which comes into EV, no-code web development, IoT, like smartwatches, Ola's, EV services, 3D printing. So the commonality between this is like when we think about innovation, we always think about the product or the hardware, right? The high-end technologies, the deep tech technologies, the advancement that is happening in the ecosystem, something which is very physical and that is very tangible also, right? Which we can see and which we can feel. That we consider as an innovation, right? So that is what we call it as. There is something beyond the product horizon, and that is where the business model comes into picture, right? So what is that business you are doing? How we are going to create value to your customers, and how the customers are going to capture what you're trying to serve them, and how we are going to capture the value that you're serving to your customers. How we are going to make money from your business. So these are all the intangible part of the innovation which are happening. If you take into account Ola is a product innovation. At the same time, they are also having a very interesting business model, right? No one would have thought of a sharing taxi drive, or someone as a driver, he wouldn't have thought like he would be having access to kind of transporters or commuters on an hourly basis, right? So maybe 15-20 years before, a cab driver might be having a maximum of 2 drives a day. That too depends upon if he's in a very Mufassil area, like in a airport or in a railway zone. But when after Olas and the Ubers, the business model has completely been changed, right? So he need not wait for the commuters. He is getting commuters on a demand basis. So these are the innovations which are intangibly happening behind the scenes, which we call it as business model innovation. So that is what we in the current ecosystem want this early stage entrepreneurs or aspiring students to think about. Just don't get sticky on your product. So I'm going to make a battery storage system. I'm going to make an EV bike. Yes, that is an innovation, but how we are going to take that product to your customers, right? So that is where you're going to get the money, right? So someone has to buy your product, or someone has to readily accept the service that you're providing, and he should be ready to spend some money from his pocket, and that is where you're going to make the revenue. So this is the much important part. Though the product innovation is very much necessary, it gives an equal importance to what you're going to do in your business model, or how you're going to take your business to your customers. So that is why we are going to see beyond the product horizon right now. So what is a business model canvas, and how we are going to do that, how you guys can innovate within that, what kind of creativity and thinking process can be brought into a business model right away. So those things like we are going to see in this session. So to start with, we'll start with the basics, like what is a business plan, what is a business model, what is the difference, basic difference between them, and why we are right now talking a lot about business model, right? So what is a business plan? So basically, there are a lot of competition that you guys would have attended in your early careers. Like if there are some alumni or some kind of fourth year students, like you might have come across a lot of competitions earlier on, like business plan competition, which is now renamed to business model competitions or ideation events or ideathons, something like that. So what is a business plan? So as the term dictates, planning is something where we work on our future commitments or future goals, what we want to do probably down the line after 5 years or in the period of 1 or 2 years. We jot out a detailed strategy, right? So that is what we call it as a business plan. It is nothing but a detailed strategy of your business, which deals with respect to your financial plan, your manpower, human resource plan, your marketing, your sales, your go-to-market. It's kind of a very detailed, description of what your business is going to be and what kind of strategies that you're going to involve, so that probably down the line after 2 or 5 years, my business will be in this space, right? It will be giving a turnaround, return on investment of say this many percentage, or I may be getting an revenue of about $5 million US. So these kind of long-term strategical planning, we call it as a business plan, and it is very complex. As we talk about strategies, it's always complex. You need to take a lot of things into account. It is always time-consuming also, right? So a business plan is something which consists more than 4 or 5 pages. It's kind of a small booklet, which is kind of an SOP, kind of an operational standards that you are creating for your own business. Okay. And basically, business plan also comes into picture for a business who are in the growth stage, right? So they have already started up some business. There is some traction happening. That could be even some sales that is happening, and they wanted to scale it up. And they are doing some kind of a detailed planning, which has a lot of complexity in it, a lot of time-consuming process, and which is also not much necessary for early stage startups right now, right? So that is where we call a business plan. Though it is kind of not neglected 100% right now. There is also business plan, processes going on in a lot of companies or a lot of business ventures. But what next, right? So when there are a lot of innovation happening in the technology part, what's happening in the intangible side of business? So that is what we call it as a business model. So business model is nothing but a structured plan where you deal about the profitability of your business, right? So when it comes to business plan, you are jotting out in 5-year, 2-year long-term plan strategies where you can make your business sustainable and profitable. And here in business model, it is a very simple structured plan where you're making it scalable and profitable, where you want to identify the sources of your revenues, whom you're going to serve, that is your customers, what kind of value you're going to create, right? So what kind of product that you're going to create. So this is where business model comes into picture. So when you compare it with the business plan, these guys are very simple to build, right? So and they are also very precise. So when it comes to a long-term strategy, there are a lot of ambiguity in it, a lot of detailed processes that you are doing in it. But when it comes to business model, it is very clear-cut, and it has an a specific skeleton and kind of a schema which we follow in a specific order, right? In a structured manner. And it is very precise and very simple to build, and it is also very less time consuming. You sit with your founders team, you sit with your business team, you discuss about what are the product that you're going to serve, who are your customer segments, how you're going to make money, and what are the values that you're going to create. So these things are very simple but very precise and focused. So it gives you a simplicity in determining these key metrics and jot it down in a canvas or in a business model kind of a structure, right? So it also reveals the capabilities of how an organization creates, delivers value, and also how that particular organization is to capture the value that you guys are delivering, right? So that is very important for revenue generation. So maybe you're selling an high-tech product to your customer, so that is the value that you're giving to them. So when it comes to business terms in the ecosystem, we don't term it as a product, we term it as a value. So product is something which you are creating a value to your customer, right? So when you're going to buy probably an pen when you need it, right? So there is a need for you, and only then you're going to buy a product called a pen. And the pen manufacturers are creating value to you by doing a lot of back-end stuffs, like creating that model and making it sufficient kind of enough for you to use the pen for probably 2 or 3 months, or maybe a easy refill pen. So these are all the value that a pen manufacturer is creating. And as a customer, what we do, we analyze, right? Okay, if I get a one-time disposable pen, that's not going to be much useful. Probably that could be lesser in cost. But what if I want to use the same pen for maybe 10 times or 100 times? So you then go for some refillable pens. So these are all different value propositions that a pen manufacturer adds and that a customer captures, right? And also how the pen manufacturer is going to capture the value that he has created. So when a refillable pen is being sold, there is a business model involved in it, right? When I am a pen manufacturer, what I'm doing, I'm manufacturing a refillable pen and I'm selling it in the market. A customer comes and buys a pen for rupees 10, and where the business model comes into picture. Earlier, if it is a one-use pen, it will be just the cost, right? It is just the selling cost, probably 10 rupees a pen. That is it. That is where your revenue ends. Because after using it, either he is going to throw that, or he's going to move on to another pen, or he might be even buying your same pen because of some value additions you have done to it. But where the refillable pen comes into picture, so he need not buy a new pen again. He can spend 5 rupees to get your branded refill, right? So if you're selling a branded pen, a refillable pen, initial cost will be 10 rupees for the pen, and you're going to get a recurring revenue of 5 rupees for each refillable pen that you're going to sell for the customers. So if you're selling a 10 rupees pen for 10 people, your fixed or your one-time revenue will be 100 rupees if a pen is costing 10 rupees per piece. And the refillable cost, maybe one customer can refill it 5 times a month. So what it is, 25 rupees extra. So 100 plus 25, and the same customer can refill it another 10 times the next month. So you are having a customer acquisition plan in it, a model, and also the lifetime value is increased of the customer. He is getting sticky towards your product. அவர் வாங்குறது உங்களோட ரீஃபில் பெண்ணை மட்டும் தான் வாங்க போறாரு. That is the refill size alone I'm talking about, not the entire pen. So he's going to one time spend in getting the initial pen, and he used to give you a recurring revenue by refilling it. So that is where this business model comes into picture. So this is where you can innovate. Manufacturing a pen is very simple, but how we are going to create more innovation in it? Are we going to have some kind of automatic scribbler in your pen? That's not going to work, right? So where you can innovate in these kind of simple products is where you can explore more on the business model. How we are going to get the recurring revenue? How we are going to make your customers loyal or fixed to your product? So that is much important. So that is where business model comes into picture. So that is where business model edges ahead of business plan. So if you ask us, like being in an incubation center, being in an ecosystem where we are supporting startups, early stage entrepreneurs, we always mandate them to develop a business model. You can develop a business plan maybe later on. We are not telling you not to develop a business plan, but it is mandatory for the early stage entrepreneurs to create a business model. What customers they are going to serve, what kind of products they are going to sell. Okay, so those kind of things are going to be mapped in a business model. So that is where the next thing comes into picture. So let's right now try to understand what is a business model canvas. So far we saw what is beyond a product innovation, what is a business plan, and what is a business model. And now let's deep dive into the session's topic, business model canvas, right? So as the term dictates, I told you, canvas is something where a painter paints his creativity. He tangibly sees what he's willing to create or what he's trying to innovate. So that is what is a simple business model canvas. You are going to map your business model in a specific canvas. Very simple as that. right? ஒரு ஆர்டிஸ்ட்க்கு எப்படி ஒரு கேன்வாஸ் போர்டு இருக்கோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஆண்டர்பிரினருக்கு யூ கேன் செட் அப் திஸ் போர்ட் இன் ஃப்ரண்ட் ஆஃப் யூ அண்ட் எவ்ரி டே யூ கேன் ரீவொர்க் ஆன் யர் பிசினஸ் மாடல் ஆஸ்பெக்ட்ஸ், right? And this business model canvas innovation process started in mid 90s, actually in the year 1994. A well-known business strategist, or we call them as inventors, like Peter Drucker. So he was the one who was initially working on this business model concept, right? And it evolved down the line, and it was in the year 2005 when this business model canvas was invented by a gentleman named Mr. Alexander Osterwalder. He is the founder of Strategizer. Strategizer is a Swiss-based startup consulting firm, innovative consulting firm. So they help startups and innovators to innovate things in a structured manner, how to get by into innovation, right? So Mr. Alex Osterwalder was the one who invented this business model canvas. So basically it was in the year 2005. So it is nothing but a very a structured canvas where you can map all your key parameters for your business, right? So that is what is a business model canvas. So what we are going to see next is what are the key parameters that we are going to that is needed to build the business model canvas, right? So what are the business blocks that is needed for a business model canvas? So as I told you, BMC was invented in the year 2005. It is nothing but a tool that will help you to understand your business in a structured way. And this is something which is very visual, right? So when we talk about intangible innovation, it is something which you can't touch or which you can't feel. And business model canvas totally reinvented that process. You can visually feel your business model. You can visually feel what you are trying to do, how you are going to do that, and what are the things that is necessary for you to do that particular product, how we are going to get revenue from the product. So all these intangible processes can be tangibly seen through a visual tool. What more that an startup-owners need, right? So that is where business model canvas has been a real game changer over the time for innovation and startup-owners, for entrepreneurs. So what are the building blocks of a BMC? Basically, there are 9 different building blocks which constitutes an BMC. So what are they? The first one would be the customer segments. So second would be the value proposition. The third building block is customer channel. The fourth one is customer relationship. The fifth one would be revenue streams. The sixth one is the key resources. The seventh is the key activities. The eighth one is the key parameters that we are going to see. And the final 9th one is the cost structure. So these are the 9 basic parameters or the blocks, building blocks of a BMC. So we'll be seeing in detail about each block in the next slides. So as you see, these 9 things will completely give you a clear picture of what your business is all going to be. Yeah, like the customer segment, it identifies you who the customers you're going to serve, what is the value that you're going to create to them, how you're going to take that value to your customers, and what kind of connectivity and personal relationship that you're going to develop within your customer segment, and how we are going to make them pay for your product. What are the key things that you require to build your product, and what are the key activities that you need to list out, that you need to map on, and who are all your key partners, and what is the complete cost structure that is going to happen for all the rest of the 8 elements, right? So these 9 elements is much enough for a startup-preneur or for an entrepreneur to work on, to play with, to innovate with, create new innovative business models and launch their product and business venture in the market, right? So in detail, let's see on what are the the basic blocks that we saw. So business model canvas, which was termed or developed by Alexander Osterwalder. The first thing is the customer segment. So customer segment, as the term indicates, who are all your customers going to be, right? Say for example, if you are trying to say take a newspaper agency, right? Who are all the customer segments? Anyone want to give your inputs? You can type it in the chat window, or else I'll just go ahead. For a newspaper agency, say for a Hindu or for an Times of India, whom you think are the customer segments? So basically, we can divide them into 2 parts. One would be the readers, right? Common people. And second would be the advertisers. Maybe the politicians, business people, Even common peoples are right now creating advertisements for any kind of personal losses or those kind of things are happening, right? So these are all the basic customer segments of a newspaper, a print media product oriented business. So this is where we will get a clarity on if you are trying to create a product, if you are trying to start up a business, the first thing that we need to focus on is who are your customers, who are going to be your customer segment, for whom you are going to serve the product, and who will be paying back by getting the product that you're selling to them, right? So that constitutes your customer segment, which is the most important block, which is the first block that an entrepreneur needs to fill when you're developing your business model canvas, right? And what is the second block? So now in the first block, you are able to create the customer segment. So yaar ungala customer who's going to buy your product, you are able to identify them. What is the next process is what value you are creating to your customers. So value here means the product, the services that you're going to offer them. What kind of need you're going to satisfy. Or customer, what is the pain point that is having right now? And what kind of services that you're going to give them in your product. So reader pain point in day-to-day activities, what is happening in the environment, what is happening in the political system, what is happening in the sports arena, what is happening in the business world. So இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்ட்டு readers customer point of view வந்து ஒரு need இருக்கு, urge is there, a need is there, and that is being solved by newspapers by creating various pages specifically for politics, specifically for local politics, state politics, national politics, international politics, business field. And also there is a segment for your sports arena. There is also a segment for specific yellow pages where different job opportunities are being posted. So these are all the various needs. These are all the various value that a newspaper agency is creating for their readers. And what is the second customer for them? Advertisers. இப்போ ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் மேனுஃபேக்சரருக்கு, ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ்மேனுக்கு, இல்லை ஒரு காமன் பர்சனுக்கு, what is the need? I want to advertise my product. I am selling one high-end battery and I want to sell it to customers. The easy way for me to approach would be newspapers. I want to publish ads, right? Taking my product to the customer. So that is one of my need as a customer segment for advertisers. That service is also being added as a value. So this is what we call it as a value proposition. So once we are mapping the customer segment in the business model canvas, the second thing we need to do is what is the value you are going to create to them through your product or through your service, right? So what is the third block that you need to do? So இப்போ நம்ம கஸ்டமரை கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம், என்ன வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம், என்ன மீன்ஸ்ல we are going to reach to that customers. That is very important, right? So after identifying your customer and after creating value, if you are not taking forward your product to the customers, it's not going to be finally sold. இல்லையா, ஒரு பெண்ணை நான் விற்கணும்னா இந்த பெண்ணை கொண்டு போய் நான் ஸ்டோர்ஸ்ல சேர்க்கணும், ரைட்? ஐ நீட் டு மேக் திஸ் பென் ரீச் த ஃபைனல் end users. So that is what we call it as a channel. So in what channel you are going to take your value to the customers? டைரக்டா கொண்டு போறீங்களா, டைரக்ட் மார்க்கெட்டிங் சேனலா, இன்டைரக்ட் சேனலா, இல்ல ஒரு தேர்ட் பார்ட்டி ரீட்டைலர் ஹோல்சேலர் மூலமா உங்க ப்ராடக்ட்டை கொண்டு போறீங்களா? Or you going to use your retailers or wholesalers or franchisee model? So how you are going to take your product to your customer? That is called as an customer channel. That is the third building block of your BMC. So நீங்க உங்க பிசினஸ்க்கு BMC டெவலப் பண்ணும்போது the third thing that you need to do is creating an customer channel. So what's the time? Okay. And what's the next block is customer relationship. So now you identify your customers. Sorry. Yeah. Now you identify your customers. You identify what is the value that you're going to create to them. You also identify by which means I'm going to take my value to the customers. இப்போ நான் கஸ்டமர்ஸையும் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டேன், என்ன வேல்யூ கொடுக்கணும்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டேன், கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எப்படி ரீச் பண்ணணும்ன்றதே மேப் பண்ணிட்டேன். Now how I am going to engage with my customer, right? So in any business there is a term called CAC, customer acquisition cost, which is a very important term during your growth stage. Early stage la irukadu. Early stage, what I mean is during your product development stage. So on the stage la ungalku yaar customer, what is the part you are going to serve them? So that is much necessary for developing your product. But when you're trying to take that product to the market, right? So during your growth phase, CAC comes into picture. What is the customer acquisition cost? What is the LTV, lifetime value of your customer? எவ்வளவு நாள் ஒரு கஸ்டமர் உங்க ப்ராடக்ட் கூட ஸ்டிக்கியா இருக்கான்? These are all very important. What is the churn rate? Churn rate ன்னு ஒரு மாசத்துக்கும் how many customers are moving out from your product and getting adopted to another competitor's product, right? So these are all the three major terms that you guys need to manage in your growth phase. ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் மார்க்கெட்ல கொண்டு போய் சேர்த்துட்டு ஒரு 10-20 கஸ்டமர் வாங்கிட்ட பிறகு அந்த கஸ்டமர் வாங்குறதுக்கு எவ்வளவு காஸ்ட் நீ செலவு பண்ற, அந்த கஸ்டமர் எப்படி நீ ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் கொண்டு how you are holding that customer to your brand and how long you are holding them, that is what is going to create value for your business. That is what is going to in turn generate revenue for your business. So customer relationship is a very important process. Basically நீங்க e-commerce sites லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா like Myntra's, Amazon's, they have a very strong and stringent customer relationship activity, right? So they do it in a scalable manner. Automatically they read what kind of products you are ordering. So if you are ordering fictitious books, ஒரு 4-5 fiction related book Amazonல order பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னா automatically you get a pop-up of new books on the fiction stories. If you are ordering lot of shoes in Myntra na, basically sports shoes or kind of cricketer shoes order பண்றீங்க, ஒரு 2-3 shoes order பண்ணிருக்கீங்கன்னா Myntraல automatically he extends his customer relationship by popping up new brands which comes under the cricket shoes. So what this happens is he is trying to stick you within his product. புரியுதா? Like Myntra என்ன பண்றானா, like he is understanding what his customer is expecting. He is connecting a relationship between his customer and his product by popping up what kind of product the customer is liking more and what kind of product is repetitively being ordered. Second point பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இப்போ e-commerce siteல பாத்தீங்கன்னா, if you are ordering more than 5 or 6 products in Swiggy, even Swiggy is a good example, or 5 times if you are ordering food in Swiggy, the 6th time you'll be getting a mass offer, 100 rupees offer or 50 rupees offer in whatever you're ordering more than 500 rupees. So these are all customer relationship models or activities which these kind of businesses are doing. So that is also much necessary for early stage entrepreneur. So idana neenga clear cutta you can easily map it in your business model canvas, right? So this is the fourth major building block of your BMC. What next is the revenue structure. So what are all the modes of revenue that you are going to generate from the customer? Na sonna mari ipo pen refillable pen sell pandrena, what are the revenue structures? First would be your principal or your host pens that you're going to sell for 10 rupees. And the second mode of revenue is your refillables, your refills, which you're going to sell on a lot basis to your customers. So that is going to earn you another 5 rupees. So that is your second revenue stream. And when business model innovation pesumbodhu, the recent strategies that is happening is freemiums, subscription models. Over the past 2 years of pandemic, though it has been adversely affected our personal life, but there has been some changes in the business activities, in your day-to-day activities. Zoom call, the Google Meets, idella pathina they are innovating their business model. Zoom ore product da, Google Meet is also the same video conferencing product, Cisco WebEx is also the same video conferencing, AirMeet, Zoho. So in the way lot of competitors are there in video conferencing, but how they are excelling is the innovation is the business model, right? Zoom oda business model enadhu, initially he is giving you freemium, 100 participants, 40 minutes meeting free. So what you do the meeting for 1 month using free plan or 2 months. Automatically what happens, there's a demand rising. So he automatically pulls you for a 500 people capacity meeting room. So adukku enna pandran, every month you need to pay $10. And if there are enterprises who are looking forward for 1000 participants in a particular meet, he is having a separate enterprise plan. So this we call it as business model innovation. We call it as subscription model. We also call it as freemium. Freemium na enna, you have a product and in that product you are giving say 5% of your product as a free. So that is helping you to acquire customers. CAC, customer acquisition cost is reduced there. So 5% of your product, 5% of your entire pie, you are giving it as a freemium model. You are getting some 1000 customers, and the 1000 customers you are pushing them to automatically subscribe for your entire 95% of your product. So that is what is called subscription model, freemium model, which has been innovated over the past 2-3 years right now in various e-commerce sites, even in products they are doing. So this is where we call it as revenue stream. Revenue stream na onna illa, எந்த வகையில நீங்க காசு உங்க கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்க போறீங்க, in what way customers are going to pay money for your product, what are the different revenue streams that you're going to get, right? So இப்போ ஒரு லார்ஜ் ஸ்கேல் ஸ்டீல் மேனுஃபேக்சரா இருந்தா ஸ்டீல் மேனுஃபேக்சருக்கு ரீட்டைல் மூலமா ரெவன்யூ வரும், டைரக்ட் சேல்ஸ் மூலமா ரெவன்யூ வரும், டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டர்ஸ் மூலமா ரெவன்யூ வரும், ஈவன் ஃபார் பெயிண்டிங் திங்ஸ், பெயிண்ட் பிராண்ட்ஸ், ஹவுஸ் பெயிண்ட்ஸ் அடிக்கிறாங்களே அந்த பிராண்ட்ஸ்லாம் இப்படி தான் ரெவன்யூ ஸ்ட்ரீம்ஸ் கொண்டு வராங்க. டைரக்ட் சேல்ஸ் ஒன்று, wholesale sales ஒன்று, distributed sales ஒன்று. இவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து they give some commissions for the OEMs in the original equipment manufacturer. So these are all called as revenue streams. So right now we have completed the entire right hand side of your business model. So right hand side complete பண்ணீங்கன்னா you are identifying your customer segment, you are identifying your value, you are identifying your customer channels, customer relationship and your revenue stream. So இதெல்லாம் என்னத்தை குறிக்குதுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா whom you are going to serve, what you are going to serve, how you are going to serve. So இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா this answers your question, whom you are going to serve. This answers your question, what you are going to serve. This answer how you are going to reach to those customers and how you are going to extend your relationship to the customers. And here how you are going to make money. So idhula pathina what, why, whom, how. So these are all the basic questions which respect to your business services has been answered in the entire right hand side of your business model canvas, which completely constitutes 5 blocks, right? Now let's move on to the left hand side of the business model canvas, where we start with the key resources. Key resources na enna? Idella identify பண்ணிட்டோம். And what are all the basic things that you need to create all these stuffs? What are you creating? What are the products that you're creating? What are the channels that through which you're going to reach the customers? Idella create பண்ணதுக்கு what kind of resources you need? Kind of factories இருக்கலாம், plant and machineries for hardware products, server rooms for e-commerce sites, cloud networks, right? Technical people, software designers. So these are all major key resources which a business needs to build all this value for the customer. So இது எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம கிரியேட் பண்ணோம்னா என்னென்ன ரிசோர்ஸ்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு தேவைப்படுதுன்றத இந்த இடத்துல we need to map, right? And after mapping the key resources, what are all the key activities that need to do? இப்போ key resourceனா factory வாங்கிட்டேன், plant and machinery வாங்கிட்டேன். Key activity என்னது? I need to run that plant and machinery. I need to maintain the server rooms, right? I need to code in the cloud network so that the customers are able to easily transact to my cloud networks, right? So what are all the resources that you are doing and what are all the key activities that you need to do so that all this process, value proposition, customer relationship, customer channel, revenue streams are being automatically happening. So இதெல்லாம் நடக்கிறதுக்கு what are the key resources we need and what are all the key activities that we need to perform so that we actively perform all the necessary activities to reach your customer, to identify your customer, to create a value for your customer, and to finally generate revenue from your customers. What are the key activities that you need to do? That is your 7th block. And what are the 8 blocks? So in the recent scenarios, not everything can be done by a single person, right? So that is where we are doing project works in a team. Now, a single person can't do a scalable business, to be frank. And that is where key partners comes into picture. Unga ortharala, as a single entity, we can't serve probably 2 billion people or 100 million people's customer segment. A single company can't serve it. You need a lot of partners. For example, take Swiggy. Swiggy oda key partners yaarla irkalam? Payment services, right? First one, sorry, this could be second. First major key partner pathina kitchens, cloud kitchens, and like the cuisines, say it as Zomato, Swiggy, or whatever food aggregators, like whatever franchisees are there, kitchen franchisees or cuisine franchisees, they are all their key partners. Without them, they can't deliver foods to a customer. And without payment partners, they can't get paid to their customers. Payment partners in more Paytms, the Google Pays. So these are all the partners who really matter for Swiggy. Without partners, they can't run their business, right? So Andamari, what kind of key partners are needed for a business? If I'm going to sell a pen, I need a retailer. I need a wholesale distributor. I need a logistic person to take this pen to the retailer shop, to the wholesale shop, right? So these are all the key partners whom you need to map so that you perform all the other activities. This is your 8th building block of your BMC. And the final one is, இது எல்லாத்தையும் பண்றதுக்கு what is the cost they're going to incur? உங்களோட plant and machineryக்கு எவ்வளவு காஸ்ட் ஆகும்? உங்களோட மேன் பவருக்கு how much cost you're going to incur? To develop your product, how much cost you're going to incur? To create a customer channel, how much cost you are going to incur. To create a good customer relationship platform, how much cost I'm going to incur. To acquire my customer segment, how much cost I'm going to incur, right? To partner with my key partners, what is the commission I need to pay for Paytm? What is the cost I'm incurring there? So it all falls in the line, right? You can get my point. These are all connecting the dots in your business. So நீங்க இது இந்த 8 ப்ராசஸையும் கம்ப்ளீட்டா முடிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா what are all the costs that I need to incur for my business என்றது you can map it easily இல்லையா? So if you are able to identify who are all my customers, அவங்க acquire பண்ணதுக்கு what kind of cost I need, to develop my value what kind of cost I need, to develop my marketing channel, my customer channel, FB போஸ்டிங்கா இல்ல டிஜிட்டல் மார்க்கெட்டிங்கா இல்ல டைரக்ட் சேல்ஸா ஹோர்டிங்ஸ் வைக்க போறேனா என்னென்ன காஸ்ட் எனக்கு இன்கர் ஆக போகுது, right? So that is why cost structure comes in the last block. I hope like you guys can understand the blocks structure. So I'll just go through it once again. So first customer segment la ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம். உங்களோட கஸ்டமர் யாரு? Second, what are the value that you're going to create for your customer? Third, in which way you're going to reach your customer? Fourth, what kind of relationship you're going to have so that the customer is retained? Fifth, how you're going to get the revenue from these customers and value that you have created. இதோட ரைட் ஹேண்ட் சைடு முடிஞ்சிருது. ரைட் ஹேண்ட் சைடு வந்து what you're going to do, and left hand side is how you're going to do. So what are the resources that you need to do these things? What kind of activities that you need to do on a day-to-day basis? What kind of key partners that you need to engage with, and what is the cost structure? So இது முடிச்சிட்ட ஒரு business plan ஒரு single page business canvas பண்ணிட்டோமா? So that is what Alex Osterwalder invented. So that is why BMC is playing a very key role in early stage entrepreneurs. When we take our incubation center, we intake startups who have a robust business model canvas. அவங்களுக்கு நாங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்லி தருதே lean canvas BMC தான். எப்படி BMC பண்ணனும், உங்களோட பிசினஸ்க்கும் உங்களோட ப்ராடக்ட் ஐடியாக்கும் go and develop a business model canvas, come and present it to us. So this helps us to identify how serious the entrepreneur is, what kind of understanding he is having on his customer segment, what is the value he is creating, how he is going to take the product to the customers. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து we are able to map easily using BMC, right? So this is what is a BMC. In the next 10 minutes நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், ஒரு basic example of Uber business model பார்த்தோம்னா you guys can understand more easily about this business model canvas. So now we will see.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
There is a question in the chat box. What is the difference?
Endல எடுத்துக்கலாமா கவி? ஏனா we have only 10-15 minutes. I'll finish it up so that consolidatedly I can answer the questions. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you guys can share the questions in chat. The coordinator will help me out in answering it once we complete the session. Just give me another 15 minutes. I'll complete the session. So we'll now discuss on Uber's business model canvas, right? So இப்போ நீங்களே மைண்ட்ல வெச்சுக்கோங்க, Alex Osterwalder BMC Uber எப்படி fill பண்ண போறாங்க, அதுதான் we are going to see. The first segment is the customer segment, right? So now they are mapping their users. So first customer segment பாத்தீங்கன்னா users are nothing but common people who are the commuters. அவங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன நீட் இருக்கு? People who don't own car வெச்சில்லாதவங்க probably can be a user. People who can't drive, who don't know to drive, they take taxis. People who don't want to drive themselves, right? If you see high-end business people, they might own a Bentley, they might own Rolls-Royce, but they don't drive. It is a matter of pride to them. So they have a driver. So those kind of people segment can be a potential users for them, potential customers for them, customer segment. People looking for cost-effective cab. So they can also be in potential customers. So this is one side of the customer who are going to take the ride. They are called riders. So riders pathina Uber ku, these section of people can be potential customer segment. Then the second part of their business model, the customer segment is drivers. So riders matter, there should be drivers who can drive these riders, right? So people looking for extra income. Or driver already he might be driving a private cab or his own vehicle, but due to some personal reasons he need extra money for his family. So he might be looking out for extra income. Those kind of people can be your potential drivers, one another customer segment. People who love to drive. Basically, there might be people who love driving all day long. So avangala mari people can be a potential customer. And people who are looking out for flexible work. So now Uber otrena morning 2 hours I can drive, I can take a rest in my home. Again, I can come active in my app, take the rides automatically, go for drive for next 5 hours. So these kind of people can be my potential customer segment, right? Can you see like how it is helping out in mapping your customers? Uber க்கு எப்படி ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிருக்குன்னு பாத்தீங்களா? First they are able to map their riders. யாரெல்லாம் அவங்களோட ரைடர்ஸா இருக்கலாம், யாரெல்லாம் அவங்களோட டிரைவர்ஸா இருக்கலாம். So they have mapped the customer segment. Next block என்னது? Value proposition. What kind of value that they are adding? So for drivers, இப்போ customer segment map பண்ணிட்டாங்க, drivers and riders. So driversக்கு என்ன வேல்யூ நம்ம கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்னு இப்போ மேப் பண்றாங்க. So opportunity to earn, extra earning, right? Easy way of earning in the sense you need not wait for 2 hours for one commuter. You can automatically open Uber's or Ola's app. You can find a rider and you can take you can earn your money. Opportunity to earn, easy access to riders, flexible working hours. These are all the value that Uber is creating or Ola is creating for their customer segment called the drivers. அடுத்த customer segment பாத்தீங்கன்னா riders. அவங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்றாங்க? சேஃப்டி அண்ட் செக்யூரிட்டி, ரைட்? இஃப் someone's daughter is driving in Uber, she can easily track and share the Uber driver's name, his mobile number, his car panel number, that is number board. So இதெல்லாம் ஈஸியா parents can track their young people's mode of transport. Safety and security, first thing. Ease of cab access. நான் என் வீட்டுல இருந்தே எனக்கு இப்போ கேப் புக் பண்ணிக்கலாம். What was earlier happening? I need to come to a bus stand, I need to come to a cab station, auto stand. So now that difficulties have been eradicated. So I am adding a value. Uber is adding a value of easy cab access to the drivers. Sorry, for the riders customer segment. Low price, right? So kilometer kanakku they are charging now. Convenience, cashless transaction. Earlier, if I'm not having 150 rupees, I'm giving him 200. He will ask me to go change, come and give me, right? That is what the model was earlier. If the ride cost is 250, if I'm having only 500 rupees note, if I give to the driver, he will automatically tell go and change and give me change, right? So now that is not happening. Cashless transaction, digital transaction, easy transaction, and map your tracking cab. Unga cab enga podunu everyone can map. So now you can understand, right? These are all the values that Uber is mapping in his business model canvas. So இதெல்லாம் நான் வேல்யூவா கிரியேட் பண்றேன் அப்படின்றத Uber ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றாங்க. So likewise you can also identify for your customer segment. Who are all your customer segment? What kind of value you are mapping? Second one is in what way I'm going to reach my customer. First website. Then he has created an iOS and Android app. He is using word of mouth. ஒரு 10 பேர் இனிஷியலா யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது நான் யூஸ் பண்றேன்னா என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட போய் சொல்லுவேன், hey go and use Uber man, that is really effective and it is very convenient, easy and also it is cost effective. அப்படின்னு நான் ஒரு 10 பேர்ட்ட சொல்லுவேன். That we call it as word of mouth. Then social media campaigning, vouchers and coupons like how Swiggy is doing, right? 100 rupees offer. Google Pay பாத்தீங்கன்னா scratch card தராங்க. For every transaction you get a scratch card in Google Pay. These are all vouchers which helps you to reach more customer, right? So my friends tell me, hey, use Google Pay man, I got 50 rupees voucher today. You might also even get 1000 rupees voucher. So these are all channels through which you can reach your customer. This is where Uber is reaching his customer. Next block is customer relationship. How he is doing? 24/7 customer support. Voice caller irukku, chat box irukku. Likewise, he is extending his customer support. Social media. After every ride, he is asking for rating. You can rate the driver, you can rate the experience of your drive and how far you are happy with the payment terms. So these things are mainly concentrating on customer relationship, right? He is connecting the dots இல்லையா? Uber business ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது business model canvas fill பண்ணும்போது இதுதான் fill பண்ணாரு Uber founder. Take in that way. Who are my customers? What are the values that I am going to create for them? How am I going to reach the customers? And what kind of relationship I'm going to connect with my customer, right? So next block is the revenue stream. So what are the revenue streams? First பாத்தீங்கன்னா Uber rider transaction fee. ரைடரா நான் பே பண்ணுவேன். செகண்ட் வந்து search price னு ஒன்னு வச்சிருக்காங்க. What is search price? On demand day, probably during a festival season. During Diwali's when I was working in Chennai, if I'm going to take a cab from my office to Coimbatore or to airport, search price will be there. Or in normal timing, like from morning 10 a.m. to 12 noon, the pricing would be somewhere around 10 rupees per kilometer. Evening 4:30 to 7:30 or 8:30, the peak hours, people commute from office to house. The kilometer search price would be 15 rupees per kilometer. That is one another search price model. License fee, right? Licensing of Uber or Ola taxis to a driver. And he was also using alternate streams, Uber Eats, Uber Cargo, Uber Boats, Uber Money like Google Pay. These are all not launched in India right now, but these are all his alternative revenue stream. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா he is mapping it right now BMCல. இதெல்லாம் நான் பண்ணணும், இது மூலமா நான் ரெவென்யூ கொண்டு வருவேன்றதை மேப் பண்றாரு இனிஷியலா. Now right hand side he has completed. What are the things he needs to do? He has completed. Now இதெல்லாம் பண்றதுக்கு what he needs, like what are the things he needs to do all these stuffs. The right hand side பண்றதுக்கு what are the things he need? First key resources. ஊபருக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டிரைவர் தேவைப்படுவாங்க, ரைடர்ஸ் தேவைப்படுவாங்க, டாக்ஸிஸ் தேவைப்படும், டிரைவர் நெட்வொர்க் ஒரு தேவைப்படும், ரைட்? Digital platform is much necessary. iOS, Android digital platform is necessary for running his app. APIs are necessary. Payment API gateways are necessary. For developing that APIs, technological manpower is necessary. He needs to create a brand image. Uber-க்குன்னு ஒரு brand image create பண்ணணும். Data analytics is much necessary, right? Who are all my loyal customers? அவங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ஆஃபர் கொடுக்கணும்? I need that data analytics. So Vishnu is using Uber for more than 10 times a month. So next 2 drives I can offer him free so that he sticks with me. So that key resources will directly link with customer relationship, right? Drivers and riders, what kind of vehicles I'm going to serve? Sedana, SUV, that adds value, right? You can map it, right? So that is where key resources comes into picture. And what are all the key activities that I'm doing? Actually, key activities inge varum. Since I am mapping a lot, I am keeping it in the left corner. Key activities என்னென்ன? So இதெல்லாம் பண்றதுக்கு என் key activities என்ன? ஒரு platform application development பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? I need to develop an iOS or an Android app for Uber. Marketing has to be done. Sales promotion has to be done. Customer acquisition has to be done. Drivers has to be hired on a monthly basis. Customer support should be there, 24/7 customer support. Driver payout should be there. Communication with the driver and customer should be there. So these are all the key activities that I need to do. Uber has to do, right? And who are all the key partners? Uber, driver is a main partner. Riders are major partner. That is common people, commuters. Payment processors like Paytm, Google Pay are another key partner. Map API providers, right? Your geolocation is tagged in Uber apps. So நீங்க எங்க போறீங்கன்னு ட்ராக் பண்ண முடியும். அதுக்கு எனக்கு map API வேணும். So I need to partner with a map API providers. Like it could be a GPS, it could be Google Map, right? So these are all key partners for Uber. And இதெல்லாம் பண்றதுக்கு what are the customer cost structure? Customer acquisition cost, என் பிராண்டிங்க்கு, வெப்சைட் கிரியேஷனுக்கு, ஆப் கிரியேஷனுக்கு, சோஷியல் மீடியா கேம்பெயினுக்கு, வவுச்சர் கிரியேஷனுக்கு என்ன காஸ்ட் அக்கர் ஆக போகுது? லீகல் செட்டில்மெண்ட்ஸ், டிரைவருக்கு பே பண்றது, கஸ்டமர் ஏதா if they are getting a bad experience and if they are asking I won't pay money, what kind of legal things I need to do, what kind of salaries I need to pay for my tech people, what kind of performance platform maintenance I need to maintain, Android app develop panni, data analytics maintain பண்றதுக்கு what are the cost, what are the cloud, what are the servers that you need to use, marketing expense, infrastructure cost, technological cost, customer support cost, right? So completely I mapped my business model canvas. Uber oda business model canvas map பண்ணியாச்சு. இப்போ அடுத்து என்ன? இதை மேப் பண்ணிட்டேன்னா I can easily develop my 1 year 2 year road map. நான் கஸ்டமர் செக்மெண்ட் அப்ரோச் பண்ணா என் கஸ்டமர்ஸ் யாருன்னு எனக்கு கிளியரா இருக்கு. நான் என்ன வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்ண போறேன்னு கிளியரா இருக்கு. What are my channels? I am clear. What kind of relationship going to happen? I am clear. What kind of revenue structure I am having? I am clear in my mind. I have made it in the business model canvas and I am creating it in a sheet or in a board. I am hanging it in front of me. So as an entrepreneur, every day you see that. Every day you are able to visualize what kind of things you are going to do. Fine. So this is where BMC adds a lot of value to you. So here we are completing BMC. A small touch up on Lean Canvas. Lean Canvas is nothing but an extended version of a BMC, a more leaner version. நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம்? பிசினஸ் பிளான் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸா இருக்குன்னு பிசினஸ் மாடல் கேன்வாஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணோம். அலெக்ஸ் ஆஸ்ட்ரோவால் கிரியேட் பண்ணாரு. பிசினஸ் மாடல் கேன்வாஸே எனக்கு காம்ப்ளெக்ஸா இருக்கு சார். ஐ எம் a very early stage entrepreneur. I am just having an idea. I can't create a customer segment. I can't create my key partners initially. So what I have to do? So avungala mari customer segmentku startup lean startup ventures-ku Ashmaurya created a lean business model canvas. Okay, Ashmaurya is an Alexander Osterwalder is the business coach of Ashmaurya. So he is a student of Alexander Osterwalder who created BMC. So Ashmoria created Lean Canvas, which is a simpler version of BMC. I'll just throw some sight on it. So இதுதான் நம்மளோட BMC இல்லையா? BMC ல என்னென்ன இருக்கு? கஸ்டமர் செக்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷன் இருக்கு, கஸ்டமர் சேனல் இருக்கு, கஸ்டமர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கு, ரெவென்யூ ஸ்ட்ரீம், கீ ரிசோர்ஸ், கீ ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ், கீ பார்ட்னர்ஸ் அண்ட் காஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர். இதுதான் அலெக்ஸ் ஆஸ்ட்ரோவால்டரோட பிசினஸ் மாடல் கேன்வாஸ். Now let's see what Ashmoria has done and how he has created a lean canvas. என்னென்ன சேஞ்ச் பண்ணாரு லீன் கேன்வாஸ்ல அஷ்மோரியா என்னென்ன சேஞ்ச் பண்ணாரு? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அவர் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணது வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷன். வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷனை தூக்கிட்டு யூனிக் வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷன் கிரியேட் பண்ணார். தேர் இஸ் நாட் மச் சேஞ்ச். It focuses on what is the uniqueness that you are going to offer. Value proposition earlier BMC la what kind of services you are offering. UVP ன்னு சொல்லும்போது யூனிக்கா நீங்க என்ன ஆஃபர் பண்றீங்க, right? So that is what is a unique value proposition. He changed value proposition to UVP. What next he changed? He changed customer relationship to into unfair advantage. So he identified early stage entrepreneurs க்கு அவங்க competitors யாருன்னு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணணும். That is very important. Knowing your competition. So here what is the unfair advantage you have when compared to your competitors? Your competitors oda what kind of advantage you have in your business. Okay, that he changed. Ashmoria changed. What is the third thing he changed is key partners தூக்கிட்டாரு. ஏன்னா early stage entrepreneur, idea stage entrepreneur க்கு என் பார்ட்னர் யாருன்னு தெரியாது. Who can be my, in detail we need not do that in the early stage. So in your early stage, idea stage entrepreneurs, product development stage entrepreneurs, identifying the problem is very important. What problem you are going to solve, what problem your customer is facing, and how I'm going to solve. Okay, and what kind of problem that I have identified from a customer. So this is the third thing Ashmoria changed in his lean canvas. The fourth and final thing is solution. Key activities தூக்கிட்டு solution கொண்டு வந்தார். So you identified the problems of your customer and what kind of solution that you're going to offer for your customers so that this problem of the customer is getting resolved. Simple as that, right? என் கஸ்டமருக்கு என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்றேன், அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் ரிசால்வ் பண்ண என்ன ப்ராடக்ட் என்ன சொல்யூஷன் நான் கொடுக்க போறேன். So these are all the four major changes that lean canvas comes into picture. Ashmoria கொண்டு வந்தது. என்ன கொண்டு வந்தாரு? வேல்யூ ப்ரொபோசிஷனை he changed it to UVP, unique value proposition. Then he changed customer relationship to unfair advantage. He changed key partners to problem, identify your problem. He changed key activities to solution. And now he has also changed key metrics to key resources. Key resources இருந்தது இல்லையா, இங்க key resources இருந்ததுல BMC-ல key resources key metrics change பண்ணியாச்சு. What are the KPIs that you need to follow? What are the key metrics? What is the churn rate? What is the monthly average monthly users of your mobile application, right? So this is what is called lean canvas. So இது ஊபரோட lean canvas பாருங்க. BMC-க்கும் இதுக்கும் எவ்வளவு டிஃபரன்ஸ் பாருங்க. BMC நம்ம எவ்வளவு டீடைல்டா மேப் பண்ணிருந்தோம், and how lean canvas has helped Uber to very simply simplified version of identifying your customer. Who are your customer? Passengers and drivers. Simple as that. Who are your early adopters? Maybe public transport users, classic taxi service providers. What is a unique value proposition? 24/7 365 days I am providing cab service. Work on your own for drivers. This is for my riders. This is for my drivers. இதுதான் நான் வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்றேன். Okay, what is the unfair advantage? Low price rate when compared to other cab service providers. How am I reaching? Word of mouth, PR and social media advertisements. What are the revenue structure? 25% of pay for each ride. Alternate streams என்ன? அதுக்கப்புறம் what are the key problems that I have identified? Expensive taxi service, availability of less cabs, lack of driver profile, knowing who your driver is, part-time job for opportunity for the drivers. And these are all the solution. Cheaper drive, wider car network, ratings, flexible work, key metrics. இதெல்லாம் நடக்கிறதுக்கு நான் என்ன key metrics ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்? எவ்வளவு கேப்ஸ் என்கிட்ட இருக்கு, ஊபர்ல எவ்வளவு கேப்ஸ் ரெஜிஸ்டர் ஆயிருக்கு, how many rides are happening every day, and what is the income. And when it comes to cost structure, what is the product development cost, what is the salary cost, what is the marketing cost. Very simple, right? early stage these things are very easy to map. And who are all your existing alternatives? Uber existing alternatives are public transport and classic taxi services like Friends taxi service, Future taxi service. So the private cab services are clear. So these are all key existing alternatives. I just wanted to throw some insights on Lean Canvas, right? So with this, I'll just get you through the virtual 2 minutes video. Number incubation center, what kind of services we are providing, how early stage entrepreneurs or aspiring students can use this facility. It's not a marketing stint, it's just kind of an sensitizing stint we are doing. We want you guys to know like these kind of facilities are there. So you can come in with an idea, develop your product, design your product, identify your business model canvas, and start fabricating your product in a small scale. You can sit and work in the co-working space. So these kind of services are available right now in the ecosystem. So you can follow our website. All regular events are posted there. You can follow us in Facebook. You can follow us in LinkedIn. So what kind of activities this incubation center is doing, how you guys can take benefit out of it. So with this viewers, I like to thank for your patience. I think I have taken 15 minutes extra or 10 minutes extra. So I hope like I was able to give you some basic insight of BMC. It takes, it's a very big subject. We have a separate paper in MBA and IEV for this. So 1.5 hour session. What else I can handle? I have done it. If you have any doubts, you can reach me directly, and now you can post your questions. I am open for Q&A session. Thank you. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, sir. Please ask your questions.
Hello, can I ask a question? Hello?
Yes, sir. Proceed.
Yes. Out of these 7 or 8 points, what you had discussed about the business model canvas, nowhere we have discussed about the business risk. Hello? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Vishnu, sir?
Nowhere in the business model canvas, we have discussed about business risk, because risk is a major factor in any startup, and nowhere we have discussed about risk. Hello, are you getting my question?
No, I lost the network in between. Can you just repost your question, please?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
At which particular point we will take off the business risk?
At which particular point we'll take off the business reach? That is your question. In the BMC you're asking about? BMC?
Risk factor, because there will be competitor, and there will be a lot of external factors which will be influencing the business model canvas. So how do you look at so far the business risk is concerned?
Yeah, so good question, sir. So how we are handling, or how we are concentrating on the business risk that is existing for your own business when we are mapping the BMC is like, that is where we are creating the UVP or the value proposition. So when you're doing the value proposition mapping, or when you're trying to map what kind of value that you're adding in your product, there we need to assess what kind of alternates that is existing, right? What kind of products that is existing in the market, what kind of similar services are being happening in the market with respect to your product, and what additional value that you're creating so that the existing customers who are using the current products can be easily acquired for your product, right? So it doesn't mean like when we are mapping BMC, we are neglecting the competition or the existing alternatives. So when we are mapping the BMC, it involves a 360-degree kind of evaluation. So when you're mapping your value proposition, you automatically do map your competitors, your existing products in the market, and what kind of value that your product is going to add on. So if you feel like, no, I'm not having that much of a value proposition right now, then you need to go back, rework on your problem statement, or rework on your product or on your solution that you're going to provide, and then again map on your value proposition. So when you start mapping your BMC, you automatically map your competitors, and you automatically get to know what kind of alternatives is there in the market and what kind of value you need to add on. What is the value proposition that you need to make so that your product reaches your customer segment. So the BMC helps you to identify that also.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other question in the chat?
Thank you. I'm Dr. Sundaram Reddy here. I think most of my syllabus you have covered. Channel selection, value proposition, and all the subjects that I'm going to touch. I think a glimpse have been given by you so that it becomes easy for me to take it further with the students. Thank you. It's a nice session. I enjoyed it. Stay blessed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Actually, for value proposition, I was talking about that. There is a separate canvas for value proposition itself. We call it as a value proposition canvas. So there's a lot of things that you guys can explore as students and as aspiring entrepreneurs. And maybe that will lead you towards, kind of innovative product solutions, and then maybe probably into a startup venture. So take this BMC and try working out. I'm just requesting the students who have attended the program. So you will get some insights of it, and there are senior faculties here who are readily available to support you guys specifically. So take use of this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir?
Yeah.
So Michelle has asked a question, differentiate between BMC and lean canvas model.
Who's that?
Michelle.
Okay. So in the ending part of the PPT, I told, right, BMC and lean canvas are similar things. There is no much changes. The only difference is lean canvas is leaner, as the term dictates. It is very simpler, a simpler format of BMC, and that is more flexible and usable for early stage entrepreneurs, right? If you idea, like the student is just having an idea in his mind. Okay. Those kind of entrepreneurs can initially start with a lean canvas, and upon working on his prototype or on his concept, he can slowly develop his BMC. So you cannot avoid BMC. Lean canvas is a leaner version of BMC, where Ash Maurya has worked on 4 to 5 changes, like the unique value proposition, unfair advantage, where the competitor mapping comes into picture, as Dasarathi sir was questioning, and then you identify what is the problem that you are, you're going to solve, what is the solution that you're offering, and what are the key metrics that you need to follow. Okay, so these are all the basic changes that Ash Maurya has done, so that it is more leaner, and startups, early stage startups can easily, use that tool. So right now, early stage entrepreneurs mostly use lean canvas, and we help them out in mapping their BMC down the course. So in the incubation center, when early stage entrepreneurs are coming, we help them fill their lean canvas first, and from there on, we guide them on filling their BMC. So BMC is the final version of your business model. So lean version is the primary version or the primitive version, where it makes you simple to identify the key parameters.
Just can I interrupt?
Yes, sir.
Just yesterday, Tata came to Odisha, because I am from Odisha. I am Professor Dasarathi Sahu from Utkal University. Department of Business Administration. And immediately, I think it was a program of Tata earlier, and Tata Tea. We all are famous for Tata products, particularly Tata Tea, Tata Salt, and many, particularly consumer products, FMCG products. And Koraput is a place. Here it is a local place, a rural place where coffee products, coffee beans are more. Coffee beans are more. And now you see, when Tata came and took that particular raw material into account, overnight, the all Koraput people, particularly the farmers part, they came up with new way of entering into the market. So no doubt we are discussing business model canvas in terms of new idea, new product, new design. But I have one particular suggestion, sir. See, when this particular canvas model, we think most of the product, it should have a time limit also. Because if you are not sticking to the time limit, maybe new product or the new market or the new competitors are coming into the market. So that is a big challenge for the incubation center particularly, because here also we are running incubation center, but by the time we are coming with a new product, there are few more product and few more competitors are also entering into the market. So that is a big challenge, that what should be the time limit also we must address, because in case of risk, you told that during value proposition we can address risk. No doubt in every case risk is a biggest factor, but at the same time most of the business models, it should have a time frame. Within that particular time frame, the product must enter to the market, or it should reach to the customer segment, and maybe your channel partner, maybe your customer relationship management, and then only we can have the productivity of the business model canvas, as I understand.
Definitely, sir. I accept your point, sir. Thanks for that insights.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So,
but it is a young man. You have done a wonderful job by presenting, by discussing for the young people particularly. Very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So as sir pointed out, so in incubation center, the program is for 24 months. So it is purely, as you mentioned, sir, it is purely targeting on the timeline. So we want a 12-month roadmap from the startup. So where they're going to market, so where they're going to, when they're going to develop their prototype, when they're going to an MVP stage, and when they're going to GT. So that has to be closely followed. I accept.
Yes, sir. Once the prototype model is okay, we must capture the market.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Again, Michelle wants clarification.
Michelle, probably I will share this content. The basic changes what Harsh Maurya brought in is, see, in BMC, it is a very detailed process where you identify your key partners, your key resources, key activities. So major thing which is requires more detailed study, which an early stage entrepreneurs can be able to do, and few might find it difficult. Okay, so when it comes to startup, the time taken to GTM, go to market, is what matters a lot. So that is where lean startups have been evolved over the past 3-4 years. So that is where lean startup comes into picture. Lean is something which is keeping everything simple. Okay, so in a leaner way, instead of making complexities towards the business model, keeping the business model very simple for the initial 1 or 2 years, where you get your initial traction. So your go-to-market time period gets reduced, and then you can think about your large-scale BMC model. So that is where Harsh Maurya was working on, and the changes he brought was, first thing is the unique value proposition. What is unique in your product? Okay, earlier in BMC, value proposition is something which is more in general to your product. What kind of services, what kind of value that you're adding. And when it comes to lean canvas, it is more focused on the uniqueness of your product. It's not on the general value that you're creating. It is more on the uniqueness of the value that you're creating. And then he moved on to the competitor part. What is the unfair advantage that you have? As Sir told, within a year's time, you can have copycats in the market. What is your idea can be easily replicated in the market. So unfair advantage is a very important block in lean canvas, where you identify the uncopyable part of your business or your product, which can't be easily copied by your competitor in a very short duration, like creating an IP, creating a patent. So these kind of unfair advantage has to be identified. So that is one major change that Ashmore has brought. Another thing is, instead of mapping your key partners, which could be in the later stage, when Swiggy was starting, right now Zomato was launched its IPO about 2-3 weeks ago. So 7 years before, when Zomato was